All right, so over 100 people participated in the Golden Visa poll, and the clear winner is the Malaysia My Second Home new program. So this is a brand new change that Malaysia has come out with. There are three interesting categories. This is a clear winner for obvious reasons. One of the biggest reasons I'm going to discuss towards the end. This video is going to be broken into three parts. The first part is what is the new requirements, which is the best category to choose from. The second is the launch date. When is this starting? When can applicants actually apply for this program? So that's the second part I'm going to cover. And finally, I'm going to discuss an important feedback from an advanced member who has some valuable contributions towards the end. All right, the three categories that they have broken this down into is the platinum, the gold, and the silver. Silver is the most in demand, and that was part of the poll, which won. Now, in platinum, you got to approximately invest $1 million. It's 1.1 approximately, 1.1 million US dollars. That's what you need to move this capital into a bank account. Now, after a year, you can withdraw half of it for property purchase reasons. So you have that flexibility after a year, but initial capital is 1.1 million. This gives you a permanent residency to Malaysia. They haven't ever issued any permanent residencies through investment. This is the first time they're experimenting with it. There's some residency requirement over here, so which kind of doesn't really, you still got to renew this. So in that sense, yes, it is permanent, but it has its own catches. A very heavy price tag for this type of permanent residency, which does not lead to citizenship, right? It's extremely hard to get the Malaysian citizenship. It does not allow dual citizenship, so no one is really going to look for this passport. The second category is the gold, and here you're looking at approximately 425K USD. With the processing fees and all of that, it'll be slightly more, but roughly 425K in a bank account. Again, the deal here is 50% can be withdrawn after the first year for property purchase reasons. The third category and the most popular category is going to be the silver option, where you're investing 105K in the bank USD, and then after a year, you can withdraw 50% for property purchase reasons. The age limit has decreased in this. They have changed it to 30 years. So a lot of people, most of the people are going to be able to qualify. The second important change is that the qualifying dependents have increased. They've done some flexibility. Now children up to 34 can actually apply if they're not married. So that's the big change. The second change is parents can apply. Regarding the residency requirements, there's a slight improvement here. So instead of the previous 90 days, 3 months is a lot of time for someone to for sure apply in the country. Now it's gone down to 60 days, which is 2 months a year to maintain this residency. I feel this is really unnecessary. They should have completely waived this. So this is a disappointment that it's still 60 days. But nonetheless, this is good for, and especially people who do Malaysia usually do to live there at least some part of the year. So if your intention is to anyways utilize this for spending time in the country, then having that 60 days is better than having to spend 90 days for sure. Now, what is the start date? Now, the draft was published, right? All this information was published just now in this month of December. The official start date is expected somewhere towards the end of January or early part of this year, right? The first quarter of this year, in between Jan and February. We're really estimating and hoping that this is going to go live. People are going to be able to file their applications. As of now, it's not live. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure to turn on the bell notification and subscribe. So as soon as there's a confirmed date on which applications are going to be accepted, I'll be providing a follow-up video. Again, I'm in talks with a lot of agents who are bidding, right? So there's going to be a list of approved agents for this program. A lot of people are interested. In case you are interested in applying for this program or any other program, you can always click the link in the description. You can get in touch with us and we can get you started with any of the residencies of your choice. And I'm going to discuss a very important feedback by one of our advanced members, Crypto Nerd. and I've spoken to Crypto Nerd, and I also have spoken to a lot of our advanced members regarding their matters. It's interesting the amount of participation, the valuable feedback that even comes from our advanced members. Here he says, in my opinion, there's so many better options like Mauritius, Philippines, Dominican Republic. 2 years citizenship with a flexible residency is too good to be true. Now, a lot of options, a few options, a couple of options which are too good to be true. One, obviously, needless to say, is the Mexican residency, really a great option for expats. And Dominican Republic, although a lot of people don't understand the mechanics of Dominican Republic, this is a super, super interesting plan B. And Brazil, unless someone really wants access to EU full-time, they could instead invest in a far less sum in Brazil or Mexico and get those passports faster, and that would solve their travel issues. EU passports just take too long to acquire unless you have ancestry. This is particularly correct because even if you talk about golden visas and the 5-year pathway to citizenship, let's say in the case of Portugal, a reason why Portugal sounds great, but when it comes to actually applying for Portugal, a lot of people back out is because the practical time it takes. So theoretical time is 5 years. Practical time is 9 years. And I'm saying 9 because once you start looking at investments, you finalize that, let's say 3 months minimum in finalizing all of those things. Once you apply correctly, you wait for a year to 2 years to get the permit, the residency. Then you wait for 5 years, which makes it 7 years at this point, assuming you clear the language test and establish ties to the country. Then you're going to apply for citizenship. Once you apply for citizenship, it's going to take another year or 2 years to get the passport. So essentially at this point, you're talking about minimum, or rather, let's say approximately 9 years to 10 years of your time. So are you willing to lock in $500,000 for 9 years to then get this EU citizenship? Maybe if you're in your 20s or 30s, it could make sense because by the time you turn 40, you might have an EU citizenship if that's what you want after investing $500,000. But let's say someone is in their 40s or 50s. Think about the time it's going to take, right, to go through this whole thing. And then you obviously not only have to put your capital in, but you're talking about then withdrawing your capital and then restructuring it at that time. The way in which the whole economy around the globe is being affected, the trajectory looks to be slightly downwards for the time being. So let's say you're investing in investment funds. How is that really going to do practically? Let's say you put it in something like a Portugal. It's something to think about. All right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you feel about the new Malaysian program. Would you consider this for 2024? If you haven't subscribed, then make sure to subscribe to this channel. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and catch you in the next one.